One. We'll call this evening's Hartsville Charleston County Water Sewer Utility Board meeting to order. Sissy Parker Harper is on her way, and she'll be a couple minutes out, but if we'll go ahead and get started and open the meeting. Do our invocation. We're at the Hartsville Water Sewer new building tonight, and this is the first time to be in here, and just so everyone knows what the new location is. Mayor McCall, if you would lead us with
Father, we thank you for this day and for the blessings we've enjoyed. We seek your wisdom in making wise decisions for our citizens. Thank you for each person that's here. I pray that you would bless the ones they love and the ones that love them, and guide us in all we do in Jesus' name. Amen.
We are going to pass the Pledge of Allegiance this evening, since there's not a flag in the space, and go to roll call and determination of a quorum. We do have a quorum, and I'll just go ahead and state again that Miss Sissy Parker Harper is on her way. So everyone's here, but Miss Harper and she'll shortly in. So we have a quorum. Next order of business we have is the approval of March 2023 meeting minutes. They are in your packet. There were not any changes that were made from when Mr. McFarland forwarded them out the other day. And I'd like to entertain a motion for approval.
Motion approved.
Do you have any questions or concerns or anything on this? For the first. Right, in a second by Mayor McCall. Take it to a vote. All in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries for the approval of the March 2023 meeting minutes. Thank you very much. Next order of business we have is our approval for March 2023 financial reports. They're a little extensive this evening. They are in your packet. Tommy, would you like for us to, do we need to suspend those till after your general manager's report based on that graph, that additional graph you gave us? The rate, I didn't think it was going to impact, but I just wanted to make sure that you didn't think it would impact this budget that you proposed for us. Okay. All right. And anything unexpected that we were not aware of that was placed within this month's budget that you need to explain? I got quite a few phone calls about the fire hydrants coming down the road, so thank you. And just for everyone to recall those fire hydrants. How many of those were already pre-sold or predestined to be somewhere? Because we know that we're replacing some old fire hydrants that are broken, and then also some new ones that were coming out.
I've got this showing there's a schedule on how I've made y'all this on the map before I get happen.
But we can take that on at the managers. So okay, all right. So I'll go back to the agenda and request entertain for motion for approval for the March 2023 financial reports, unless someone has any questions or concerns. Everyone first, Mayor McCall.
I'll second.
We have a second by Mr. Gregory. Thank you very much. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried for the approval of the March 2023 financial report. Thank you. Next order of business we have is our water loss report, which is in your packet for the month of, updated the month of March 2023. You'll also see, like normal, where we're have the comparison for the other months. The blue and yellow line document in your packet.
Okay, we could wait on the European area out on both line. It might wait a while before we found it. And we had one blowout up here on Thursday, pretty good late. And it might wait a little while before it actually blew out. We won't come to after effect. We got them both fixed and found. I know the pump station, but it's pumping longer hours out there through the family can tell that. So it's just always something. We had another leak out on Fort Blunt and near Lake Creek.
What was the second one you said? Port Blunt, and what else?
It was Pure Bend. It's out past Belton Belgian line. Third red, as you go out in Mr. B, you're building about 100 feet they blow out right there. Then there was a leak on service out on Fort Blunt. It was pretty rough, coming out pretty hard. We've had a few of those old cellular or old tap saddles that brought off and brought off the line and it break. And I didn't know they were telling the supervisor I didn't know come that far through the crowd that we only hadn't had it about Al-Qaeda, but we got more in another side of Kansas. We'll get quite a few openings already. We may have more than the things, but I guess in getting that, we may have a lot of them about to fail with the leaking. We may not have broke yet. But we find them and fix them when we see them. We try to keep them close on.
The one that was at Thoroughbred, was that before or after what's just been rezoned?
It's showing this probably will be after.
Okay.
Now that one over here might have been part of last month's policy.
Okay. The one that's on Thoroughbred, is that before or after the Beasley property that just got rezoned?
It's probably before it. It's right behind. If you go into the Thoroughbred, right into Mr. Beasley's office, okay. It's about 100 foot behind him.
Okay.
It's just before the Thoroughbred is right there. Basically across.
Okay.
The office.
Gotcha. I know where that is. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, the board.
In the local system in January, our water was at a lower percentage rate, and it has gone up February and March. What's contributing factor that caused the increase from January into spring?
I think it's just some of the leaks that we find as we go. They either start getting worse, and the longer they go, they usually get worse. And found that was very isolated here at Gulch Lane.
Yeah, I had Gulch Lane and Thoroughbred, Fort Blunt Road, and around the street, those four.
Yeah, I can also, we keep the record of all these. I can start, giving you all this as leaks we fix.
Have they all been fixed or different?
We always fix them. We don't never go not fix them.
And for those February and March numbers, that's when the temperature was so low, and we
we had
that freeze.
It messed a lot of post services and stuff. And we were fortunate not to have a lot of leaks on our own. We had a lot of customers, meter bottles busted, and some of the customers had leaks, but we didn't have any mainline leaks that day or two that had.
I'd just like to say thank you for the water department for the Thoroughbred, because they was out there early that morning. It was cold, it was raining, and they was out there working diligently. So I mean, I observed that with my own eyes as I was coming out.
Thanks for that recognition. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. No movement seemed to be made on the water loss report. And anything else on that, Mr. McFarland?
No, I haven't had that. So I have more questions.
Okay. Any others? That takes us to our engineer report by Mr. Evan White with Mid-10 Engineering.
The SRF project has got a pre-construction schedule for April 19th for the contractor, and the SRF will be here. So as soon as that's, we're going to bring the contract books to them, it's submitted and that again. I guess they He may. Y'all are welcome to come. If they're in the public.
Thank you.
It's pretty interesting, so. The 319 funding that we turned in for, that y'all come up with the project last minute, as far as me, Tommy can figure out that's kind of been a waste of time. They don't really know. They told us they're not eligible projects. They're fighting with DC over it. So that's the last I've got an update on that. And the SRL, y'all had a meeting a week or two ago, Tom? Yeah, last week. And they had to work out some budget items. It had nothing to do with something being, they've hired Ernest Young.
They as in?
TDEC.
Thank you.
Has hired Ernest Young to be their review specialist, or they're advising to make sure that the state of Tennessee is compliant with federal government guidance. So Ernest Young is going back in and having a lot of input on how certain stuff goes and how it's handled. So they're just moving monies around inside the budget. Just all it is. There's only comment that Tommy got. So, I know base kind of back in. We're just waiting for them to send out a contract. That's all the projects.
So on the 319, I'm sorry, I should have asked you. Would anybody else have any questions? On the 319 grant, isn't that the one that we requested that you go in and ask for for the infrastructure, so that we would hope that we would be within compliance?
They wanted you to stand roughly, they kept saying, come up with $5 million for projects, let's turn them in. As a small project, that's the 178 million
right
set aside for the 3 counties. And so we did that. And as soon as we submitted, that's what makes it, they're not approved projects. So Ray Render, John Rose's office is still in DC on how we even supposed to go about it, because they're the ones who do this last minute. From my understanding, they don't know how to work with funding, so they don't want to tell us.
We've seen that before in other grants too.
Yes.
Where you find out the very last minute, almost the week or 30 days before what the truth. So what's the likelihood of us going and being prepared on things that are eligible? We've got to find out what they are. Right?
The way it was appropriated was for water and sewer projects.
Right.
Period. As soon as we turn that in, there's not.
Are they given a new turn-in eligibility? So you can go back and change what you turned in?
From what I found out now, it's
okay. Because I know Mayor McCall and I were at something earlier, last week, and we had heard a lot of the same thing. Like a lot of people are getting the runaround.
And one of the things we heard was that they were going to limit it to 15 projects, which means they're more interested in big projects.
That is a true fact. That is part of the stipulation. There's 15 projects now. I don't know if that's 15 projects per entity, or if it's 15 projects for the whole 178 million.
I understood it was 15 for the whole, but you know, we were advised to test the water with a smaller project.
Yes.
And evidently that's.
And you got 3 days to come and send it. And we did.
I mean, maybe
we made the deadline.
Maybe we should have gone for the home runs. Asked for 100 million or something.
That's nobody.
That's what I interpreted. Anything else.
There's a subcommittee in DC that is I guess I'm going to say dictators, but they are the ones that's telling you what you can and can't do. So it's not John Rosen's. I know they're dealing with me to see what.
Is he on that subcommittee? Do we know if John Rose I know he's on the agriculture and he's on the finance. I didn't know if he was on. Okay.
Probably so the meetings.
Yeah, it is. So,
Anybody else have any questions? That means those projects have got to come back up for funding at a later time. We'll need to bring this back up for discussion. And I know you have tax season, so your brain, we'll let your brain think afterwards. So the next order of business, you said that's all you had, Evan?
yes.
Anybody else have any questions for him? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That takes us to our public comments. We have someone in the audience. Would you like to speak? Do you have anything or? Well, observe away. Welcome to the meeting. I'm glad you're here. We appreciate your attendance, and we are grateful you're here. Board members. Anything else? In your packet, there was a recommendation for us to start looking at our proposed increases. Last time we did this, I believe it started in October. Is that correct, Tommy? The last time there was the increase was started would be October billing for November. So we're not in a stiff rush to do that. If I can say we have homework, we have some homework to start looking at those. Also, we need to really make sure, Tommy, that we've got taken into consideration the price increase of and making sure you're not going to be in the red for all the price increases that we're facing these days. Well, we don't want this increase to put you in the red when it's the 2%. So if the 2% is what you're proposing, if that's what you're proposing. And anything else? They didn't last you so many. That's right. Oh, you're great. Maybe Mr. Gregory can make it to the ball game.
Oh, I said, let's go.
Motion to adjourn. I hear a motion to adjourn. Second the motion. Thank you, Mr. Harper and Mayor McCall. This meeting is adjourned. Sorry about that. None, and please, no offense, no offense. I know. I was like, man, I was swifting through that one. But that's what I get for looking at like.
You bought for
Hey, right.
Blame it on the glasses.
I know. Blame it on my glasses. Okay. All right, Mr. Tommy, all you.
Well, we're going to start at.
We reconvened due to the fact that I missed the general manager report number 9.
Well, the budget, I don't know if y'all.
You do.
It has a 2% increase this year. It has a 2% growth rate. And we had some equipment. We have about $3,000 worth of depreciation that goes off of it, so that being used to purchase these vehicles and different equipment and whatnot in the budget. And then, deal with that or talk more about it. You could say it's something I'm putting to get before they do all their process, but it may be a while this year. May not be like last year as quick as it got done.
He's got them scheduled. We got them scheduled probably in the last of April. Everybody ready to start.
Well, we're looking, and the 6% area, we do something every year. That's going to have to go with some of these projects we're looking at now. Too. You got to pay depreciation on your ARPA projects. You got to build that money too. I mean, you got to build some revenue to cover these costs. Even though they're free money, you still have to depreciate it. And back for 4 years, you do have to raise some revenue for those things. And then the water probably do one. Now it's covered anyway.
What business board want to do about the budget?
How confident are you about, or let's do something,
I believe it is down, and we learn more about where we're headed with this other product.
that's where I was going with it. I would be more comfortable if we went a little further than 2%. First thing people will do when they hear rate increase, they're gonna get mad. My philosophy is money was, and if we kind of cover our tail, maybe this time go 5%. And then maybe we don't have to hit them so hard next year if we see that's more than enough. I would just be afraid that 2% wouldn't cover what we're looking to do. And not blow up the work we did or anything.
No, that's fine. Y'all have to make a decision. I mean, I was trying to. I think the way we was looking at it from last meeting, we talked about doing 2% every year for the next 5 years. You know, is what we kind of looked at. But that's up to y'all.
There was that conversation, but we need to make sure you're not in the red.
That's my only concern. That's why I was thinking maybe this first year, come out of the gate a little stronger, and then we can scale it back if we see that that's going to be more than enough. Because at the end of the day, 5% on the water bill, nothing. And personally, I feel like the water bill is the cheapest utility to begin with. You get your most bang for your buck.
If y'all want to wait for next month, we do a little more research on some cost stuff for it.
What are you more comfortable with? You bought
Right now, you know, we're falling in the 2% growth, which we may not experience 2% growth this coming year. I don't know how it's going to
I've
be.
been voting a lot of things on planning. I voted a lot last night.
Yeah, I ain't saying I'm slow down, just never know. Yeah, I don't like.
oh, it's going off a cliff, no matter when.
Our district or, yes, it's friends. Okay.
Yeah, and we still see stuff coming very weird. But yeah, like I said, it happens in one area, as long as the same people building, you know, if they bought all 7, they're building different lots, but you're still seeing people moving and growing and by so.
And the budget will be about, how will that be? How will that go? What's our timeline on that with you? With the court?
We'd like to have it done. We're gonna start the last week of April. I'm hoping we start preliminary. Supposed to have like some planners, chairman of budget finance. He's scheduled, and I think that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, last week of April to start looking at preliminary. We hope it'll be done, you know, sometime middle of May or better.
Well, if we had something ready for y'all by our May meeting, would that be running too short?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I sort of like, you know, 2% and 2%.
We always look at growth. We usually grow like 60 customers a year, natural growth. And then we had the big development out here, that would cause a big boom in our budget, you know. That don't always happen. They just the pride, they kind of come and go. But you know, we had a good year this year because of that. A little more than normal. That don't always happen.
That's why I'm 2% scared.
We need to raise rates drastically, but it was the very first time that they've been raised.
I never noticed this.
10 years, yeah. It's been 10 years since they were raised.
Like you say, you don't know that. That's why I wondered what. Yes, I didn't notice it. I feel like a leak.
Water's cheap.
But you called me, so, you know.
For the consumer.
It is, but we need to make sure that all these fire hydrants that he's having to buy and that he's replacing a lot that are worn out, and the clays that he's replacing.
That's why I'm more comfortable with 5% this year.
I can fix that in there and use the numbers. You know, you're going to be 3% on what you got here. Your income is going to change at the bottom of the page. It's all going to be. I don't see it changing the expenses that we got on there.
Would y'all be opposed if we look at this next month? They bring the one at 5%, with 1-2%, and we can vote from there.
Look at both of them.
Okay. And then bring your numbers in also for what you know you've been faced with for your increase.
we've been fortunate here. That's kind of why my budget's a little over in materials this year, because the prices were jumping and we had to make that decision to go out here, make a decision to go ahead and buy it. But we're not, I don't think it's gonna be like this year, but I don't know, I can expect the next, we don't raise something, you know. And the equipment we buy, the stuff we buy, you know, it's not, it doesn't affect your budget like you think it does. Some people, you know, we buy it outright in cash, we have the cash money. You depreciate that for the life of it. You only show that depreciated value in the budget every year. You don't show the number one time, you don't show that coming out. It's over the period of its life that it shows in the budget. So those, you know, equipment purchases don't hurt you like you think that they part of your budget goes. It's just, you have to appreciate their life, the value of their life.
What's your life expectancy on your lines?
40 years ago.
What are you looking at on your timeline that you're replacing right now? Have they exceeded the 40 years?
Well, now,
that's what I thought.
There's no money for that fixing those lines, no grant money.
I don't want us to jump the gun or go with a knee-jerk reaction. I'd like for us all to be as educated as possible, so when we do go and present this budget, we've got the justification to back it, you know, so that we don't end up like we did last year.
I will say, me and Ellen, we've been carrying, that's where our costs have been up a little bit this year too, because I've been paying a guy to camera our sewer, because we need that for the ARPA projects.
Right.
And for figuring out our water and I-9 problems. That you know, that's been an expensive, you know. We don't know all the costs of that sewer problem. Well, this dad is helping us to figure that out. And the stuff we'll buy with the ARPA money to help collect more data will help us narrow down that your cost on your sewer side is going to be probably almost equal to what your cost on your water side to fix all your future problems. You know, it's not going to be, you're going to need the revenue one way or the other coming in. I think I hope to raise it with some of them every year, so not impact somebody real bad and get quick, they'll get immediate increase when you have a bad situation. So we'll do that for you, prepare that.
Would you be comfortable with the approval of the budget minus the 2% for this month?
Whatever y'all give me to work.
It's what I have on the floor at this time. If that was a motion.
Oh.
You spoke.
Oh.
Approve it without the 2%. If he approved the budget for the month minus the 2%, if he needs the budget to be approved for this meeting. No, you don't have to. Okay.
I thought, yeah, he said they're starting the end of April.
Just our monthly budget.
Oh.
But Tommy said we're good. We don't have to. He's gonna wait till next meeting.
Traditionally, I always try to get it done before the county, so they have it wait on it. So that's all I have. Both drivers.
I don't care.
So do we do it 17 meetings or we'll take that before the next month's meeting? Or do we want to do we just all want to talk about it at next month's meeting?
I don't think it takes long at all. We'll have 2%, 5% in front of us.
2%, 5% plus whatever he's got. That's we.
Yeah.
And for us to take that to the board, I think, and because I don't want, we have 2 members now on this board that are short, and I don't want them getting beat up about our budget without the justification to back it up. So
okay, I'll be there. I'll take the meeting.
I'd like for you to have the justification back in that way. We're asking for an increase. So we will send you to the front line.
If we need somebody to fall on the sword.
All right. So I understand everybody's welcome with us just bringing it all back to the table at next month's meeting. We'll discuss it then as a group. Thank you. Okay. Move to adjourn. Discussion of commercial and municipal sewer discount program for processed water evaporation.
Yeah, I had, customer, Mueller Manufacturing called, guess they might, I can't remember the guy's name now. They don't want the phone, he had asked about us if we did a program where because they feel like they evaporate most of the water, and they don't go to sewer, and it's actually a program to give them credit. I said, no, we currently don't have any rules on it either, so I'd have to dig in and find it. I did make a phone call to the gentleman in Lebanon, because I think through this May, I heard that they do certain things to help businesses. I never got back, he's never got back to me. But I'll try and I did talk.
I left a message today too, so.
She knows who it is, and she left him a message. I did talk to Fred Ward with Intask, and he's their sewer specialist. He said some communities do that, but it just all depends on whether they might have to have a meter installed that monitors all the water going into this process, and a sewer meter also that monitors the sewer water going out to make sure what is that evaporation loss, how much are they leaving. These are kind of all the places, unless they got a high line of water to use, it may not be worth it to install 2 meters to figure that out. And if they have bathrooms going into that sewage line, those meters don't work too well because they're not good at really solid waste, and it needs to be fluid for them to work with. The bathrooms are all on into it, and it's going to be hard to get an accurate reading on that the sewer going out. I'll keep digging to find out what I can. I'm not nowhere near ready to ask them to do anything. And I would like to spend a little time, and I told the gentleman this ain't gonna happen quick if it happens. If the board decides to do something, we need to put some rules in place that will govern not just you, but everybody else that will ask this question. That's what we need to do if we're gonna do it. But I ain't got enough information yet to really talk more about it. We might have some next month.
And from what I understand, this is for a discount for the sewer.
Yeah, they don't feel
because they're not using the sewer as much as they're using the water.
Yeah, they feel that they evaporated out of the process. I guess they heat something, they have boilers or whatever, and they lose a lot of that evaporation. It ain't really impacting the sewer, they're saying.
And wholesale food manufacturers, they will do the exact same thing. They'll often have, for example, 80% of the water usage they use will a lot of times go into their product. But what they're looking at is they have to have it metered, either metered indefinitely to prove that they're not going into the sewer system so that they can confirm that their usage is really less. And that is an expense that is on the industry, because I know of an organization that's their case. And so, but there has to be the proof that it doesn't go into the sewer system for that discount from what I've seen in my life. But I welcome the discussion, and I welcome the investigation to see how Lebanon does it, and a couple others.
Well, I knew through hearing conversation with you that you mentioned that before, so I tried to start there. And they do that, but like Mr. Ward said, it just all depends on how much water they use. It may not even be worth it to them to try to figure it out, to get a discount.
Because they have to, they had to buy the meter. So I did speak with one group, and they had to buy the meter, they paid for it to be monitored, but they do have a good discount for it to impact them, but they're large volume.
At the end of all of it, we need to look at not just these people asking, who else might ask. We need to have some good rules in place when we do it. This is how we want to do everything.
And that goes back to why I brought out to the attention that it's not just a discount for evaporation. You're actually guaranteeing that you are not putting anything into the sewer system by a meter. So, and then it have to be a meter that's approved by the water and sewer department.
We'll probably have to be the one that gives them that, or they'll have to buy it to make sure it meets our standards.
Who did you say was making this request?
You're manufacturing company if you're on product.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions? Last chance again for public comments. I'm trying to get you thought.
Modifying the utility.
What?
Discuss modifying utility.
Oh, well, I really am passing.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't have, I have bad glasses and I have glasses I can't see out of. I'm just messed up tonight. So I apologize, y'all. So that's why I've got the computer over there and this here. I'm hoping I can read something between the two. So, all right, modified utility name.
The reason I asked this, because I like to put a smile on the building before we're technically, we call it stuff utility district. We're not a utility district. We're, something else now. And we get, even entities outside of us get confused about who we are, like TAUD, they thought we was a district, we was. That's a whole different entity. It's a non-profit entity, our for-profit entity. We're not a non-profit entity. And municipal government of not there. Just wanted to, before I boss sign, we mentioned it before, just if y'all want to change it to department instead of utility district, you want to call it. I know our sister Metro government call hers Moore County Metro government utility. But, you're going to change it to that or whatever. This might not be decided or not, but it's one to ask y'all to leave it like it is.
District board, what was the other one that you? Metro utility. Metro utility.
Metro. I think it's more, I don't know if they actually call it Moore County, that's the county. It might just say Metro utility. I can't remember what it said. I don't know if y'all want to avoid doing that right now. When we do this, we'll put it on the bill that way. It's changing on the bills and everything.
We don't small transport county metro utilities are too much.
I think that's pretty much
pretty long now.
It is.
It won't make any difference. If y'all want to call it that, that's what we are. Mm-hmm. You're a metro form of governance.
I believe that you need one. I believe that you need one name. There are multiple documents that are out there that have the organization identified as two different names. Mm-hmm. So a unity and a brand, and you're not asking to rebrand the image or anything like that. You're just asking for what's the end of that name. Is that correct?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure legal will have to make sure some documents are.
Documents and the name, I don't think we're going to find another Hartsville Tri-State water sewer, but just to confirm that its eligibility, we might want to go ahead and put that in the database and make sure that with the state and the feds to confirm. I did hear Metro Utility. Anybody else has any other options, feel free to go ahead and email those to me this month if you think of anything else, but I think I see a direction that you might be going because that's the only name that got.
Yes, the same way we're going to put a forward slash and a dash.
And really go ahead and whatever this is, make it the brand for the name for here on out and have it changed. We'd have to have that as a vote to make that.
Yeah, West County most changes that. We might stay the same, just change that name on whatever name outside.
You can put about 6 pieces of paper out there right now to identify you with 6 names that you're going by. But, that is something that would need this body's organization and approval for it to be changed. Unless you want to vote on, if somebody wants to, anybody have any other ideas or want to think about it? Make movement based on it being Metro Utility, since we've heard that twice. Based on its availability. If it's not available, come back to us.
Y'all just tell me what you want.
We'll put that forward. Hartsville Transport, Metro Utilities.
Hartsville, Trousdale, Water, Sewer, Metro. Metro, Trousdale. I say Hartsville, Trousdale.
Golden opportunity.
We're probably in college sewer too.
Utility to cover water.
Yeah, utility to cover your water.
Hartsville Tri-State Metro Utility.
Bam, 4 from 6 or 7. That sounds really good.
Do you end it with Metro Utility
Department, district? There we go again. What's it going to be? So utility would take the word of 2, or do you just say Hartsville Trousdale Utility something, or do you say Hartsville, Trousdale, Metro Utility?
Yeah, I think that's sufficient. Those four
Okay,
words.
I'll take a, movement. I'll accept a motion of what.
So moved.
That was Hartsville, Travel, Metro.
With no word at the end, we dangle.
I think that will.
Dangle, what would you like to dangle?
Martin, he said dangle, we're gonna leave dangle, so we're good.
All right,
I didn't.
dangling without anything.
Yeah, Department of History, whatever.
Didn't find a word. Tax return. No, that's a big one.
All right, we have a first,
A second.
we have a second, any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, I'll take a motion to adjourn. I apologize for my blindness and accept. Thank you.